Welcome to The Turnover. The format is simple. Take 3 multifamily media network hosts with a maintenance background and put them together. The twist is that, like maintenance in the apartment industry, they have to respond to the unknown. You see, 2 of the hosts don't know what the topic is. The fun part is there's no limit and you get to listen in. So what ideas are we turning today?
Paul, we're live. Welcome to the first ever live in-person episode of The Turnover. We are live on the trade show floor in the Chadwell Supply, the MRO show booth. They were nice enough to give us their booth for us to record this very special episode of Apartmentalize, which, if by my watch, we only got about 40 minutes left on 3 days of the last 3 days, which has been absolutely amazing. So we do have some questions. None of us know what is going to be asked, but we wanted to set some ground rules. We want to try something a little bit different today because we have been very overwhelmed with a lot of information over the last 2.5 days. So, Paul, what are going to be some of our ground rules for today's show?
These ground rules came about from the fact that at Apartmentalize this year, everything is, you can take anything and slap AI on it, and that's in the booth. That's on the topic, it's on the table, it's on the schedule, it's on the calendar. So for our time together in this space at this time right now, our rule today is your answer cannot be AI anything.
Okay.
If so, remember, we are in person. So slapping may be the consequence.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. We could have physical assault for the first time on The Turnover. Nice.
Am I the only thing off limits? Can I include centralization?
Yes,
can I include centralization, please?
Let's go. We'll each do one. Everyone.
All right. So you got AI.
AI is off limits.
You have central. Got it. Centralization. I think those are, you guys like took 2 of the really big ones. Oh geez. No pressure. You know what? Let's just go with those 2.
Just those 2. Okay.
Because I think that will significantly limit everything we can talk about on this show today.
Right.
So, and we like to set up guardrails. And so I know you guys both have a question. I have one too.
Okay.
So why don't we start with Mark?
Yes. I love it.
Mark.
I love it. All right, let's get to it. So my question was inspired by, we had a maintenance appreciation happy hour at the Westgate Superbook, which is the largest sports book in the world.
Okay.
Right? So I got inspired by seeing all the massive televisions up there. So my question is this. Each of you, well, all of us, really, you're creating your fantasy maintenance lineup. Who do you draft first? And by who? Like, do you take HVAC? Do you take a plumber? Do you take an electrician? Do you take a project manager? Who are you drafting first for your fantasy maintenance lineup? Thank you. That's a phenomenal question.
Are there any parameters as far as property size, market type, any of those? And if there are none, should we say that in our answer? Is that a part of what we have to decide?
You know what? Let's go for it. Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
Sure. Throw it out there. Yeah.
Oh God.
If you need time to think.
I'll follow your rules. Go ahead. You're just making up rules today. You're just making up rules.
No socialization.
He said both of them. All right. Fantasy team. All right. So I'm in we're literally on the clock. So I work in the Northeast. I work in older, more distressed properties. So for me, my first choice on my fantasy maintenance team has to be a good carpenter. And it is regional. Carpentry is one of those skills that's really you have to learn it. You know, you have to, it is, there's not a lot of book. I mean, yes, there's a lot of, you know, but it's so more, in my opinion, so much more hands-on. You know, he's got to do doors. He has to do walls. He has to do flooring. I mean, there's just so many things a good carpenter needs to be able to do in a unit. And being in an affordable environment, you know, I got wood that's falling apart all over the place. So that would be mine. It would actually be a carpenter.
I believe that is classified as a dark horse pick.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Because I don't think that is like off the bat what somebody would look
That's
for.
a third round pick. That's a third round pick, but I love that. But I love that. I love that.
So
you did.
That's exactly right.
You did.
Fantasy football.
I will take your first round trade, so I can pick 2 in the first round now, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I.
No.
But hey, if I'm going with this very, very poorly understood sports metaphor, so why the heck not? Mine actually, because I am in the South, and on all aged properties from very, very old. The oldest property that I have been on was built in 1914 and maintained all the way up to brand new, just out of the ground. And my first round pick is actually the obvious one, HVAC.
Absolutely.
In the South, you've got to have HVAC. And the benefit of that is that an HVAC employee, heating, ventilation, air conditioning employee, someone who's very good, is also can pinch hit as an electrician and a plumber, because you've got all of those trades are built in. And that's one pick. One pick. Thank you very much. The second one kind of goes near and dear to my heart. It's probably just a gut check moment. I would have to go with a amenity technician. Somebody who can maintain all of the necessaries for curb appeal. So some of that will fall into the carpentry realm.
Got it.
Exterior.
Okay.
That would include roofing. That would also include concrete work, possibly some landscaping work. Then since it is an amenities technician, that means all the interior spaces. So you've got janitorial cleaning, all of those things.
Well
so those are my 2 picks.
And audience, and for our viewing and listening audience, I want to be clear, before we step foot into this beautiful studio that was given to us for today, thank you, Chadwell Supply. My dear friend, colleague, and co-host Paul said he's really working on keeping his answers to questions shorter. So I'd like you all to roll it back about 4.5 minutes when he started his short answer to what trade. Oh, that was the short version?
That was the short
all right,
version.
let's keep it moving. Hey, this is Vegas. We got to keep it moving. Okay.
All right. So my fantasy maintenance draft pick. So you had carpenter, you have HVAC, which includes all of the others. So my fantasy maintenance would be a project manager. I want someone who can schedule, but the follow up. I think that's where, to me personally, I think maintenance is lacking in our follow up. So I think for me, a quality project manager to be able to take all of those things, condense it, and put it in an order that makes sense to me. So that would be my fantasy pick. Would be a good, solid project manager.
So in the the turnover fantasy maintenance team, we have a well-rounded team. In whichever sports ball game you want to play, we have a well-rounded team that could go for probably be picked up and put into just about any property nationwide. I can't think of a trade that we're missing that we would actually have to vend out. Maybe flooring.
Yeah. Well, carpenter,
It's all hard surface now. So
but even hard surface, most carpenters can also put in carpeting really well. They, tack strip and doing that. All right, let's shift it up a little bit. Great question, Mark. Awesome. On theme what we got going on here. Paul.
Okay. My question.
Short.
My question is,
for the love of
since
God.
we're at Apartmentalize.
Yes.
My question is, walking around the trade show in this wonderful place, you have all these wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
What walking around the vendors or people or companies that you've seen has been the, well, duh moment that you never ever noticed before?
Example.
Like a
Example.
service
My
that
answer. Anything here
Okay.
of why didn't I think about that? Why didn't this always exist?
Okay.
Type of thing.
Okay.
Mine is blatant. It was a friend. It's a friend of mine, Ben, who is here. He's got a booth for the first time ever. Just started. It's a company. Blatant plug, but it's the well duh moment for me. It's he's got a company just started called Subaquatic Pool Repair, and it's all about making repairs inside a swimming pool without draining it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. When I saw that, you know, I'm going to think of one, but that was the one that I was like, well, duh. Like, I agree. Like, that I have a lot of pools up by me in New Jersey, in New York, Pennsylvania. It's never a service that I heard of, and I'm sure it exists. But it's nice to see a new supplier partner, like that, because I've been coming here for years. You've been coming here for years. I've never seen somebody providing that service here on the trade floor.
Especially, and for our audience, little maintenance tip here, don't drain a pool without consideration, because if your water table's high, the pool will float out of it, and then you are, let's just say that situation inhales rapidly.
That's right. For me, this is my first year exhibiting as a supplier. So I have not had an opportunity to walk the trade show floor, really, unless I'm going to the bathroom or someone's covering for me while I step away quickly. But
with a narrow focus absence.
Yeah, where's the nearest door? Wow. But I did see that gentleman. What's his name?
Demetrius.
Okay, I did see Demetrius's site, and I did see his in the beginning, the up and coming section.
Yep.
So I did see that, and yes, I mean, as you present it out here, it's like, well, of course that makes sense. So I don't want to steal your answer, so I'm going to really try hard to think of one quickly. Someone help me. But I haven't had.
But I think that, the thing is like, it's hard to pick out one, because let's be honest with the expo, you have some great supplier partners with the National Apartment Association, but they are larger suppliers covering a large national footprint. I would like to see more boutique-y type maintenance suppliers. And by boutique-y, the reason I can't answer your question, because there's not enough. We need to see more of things like our friend Demetrius and his subaquatic pool repair. There's probably great technologies out there that we don't know about, that we'd be like, duh, because we're not being exposed, and our affiliates aren't being exposed. So get out there. I mean, I'm pitching to suppliers to pitch me on their duh idea.
In those suppliers' defense, it is very, very possible that this is not the correct form for that.
Yeah, sure.
Because maintenance, the people who that would speak to, are they here?
All right, so you give me a segue.
Okay.
You give me a segue, and I'm going to take it. So, good question. But here's mine.
Wait. Is this the very first question that we have had that did not get answers?
Let's just pass over that. We're glossing over that. You're right.
You're right. You won.
And I'm sad. Paul won. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to deem Paul the winner of this week's episode of The Turnover, because apparently he makes the rules and he just randomly wins. But cool, Mark and I are here too. So, but your segue, what you just said is all the more important. We come to the National Apartment Association's annual convention. I've been here all week, various meetings, committee meetings. You and I spoke on various sessions. You're here as suppliers. We have three very unique perspectives of this conference. My question is this: what can local, state, and even national affiliates do to increase participation and attendance by maintenance professionals? One thing. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a broad idea. I mean, I kind of just gave one. Give me more boutique-y, interesting, out of the box, innovative maintenance supplier partners that would really touch and really be important to them. You know, that would be mine.
You have to make something that maintenance individuals could benefit from. And it's not to say that there aren't those things here, but if I'm a property management company and the cost of this specific conference is so high, if I'm going to send some maintenance personnel out there, they need to get something from it. Sure, we want to walk around and we want to get all the free stuff and we want to take home our water bottles and our shirts and our hats and our this and that. But if I'm going to, I would rather spend half of that money and just give you a gift card to go to the store and buy a water bottle and a hat and a shirt and a whatever. But you've got to give them a reason. I don't say them, the maintenance guys, but them, the people who are paying for it. You've got to get them the reason that maintenance will benefit from being here.
Well, here's one of them. I mean, you know, I have met some great maintenance professionals in the last week. Minutes before we walked in here, we were having some great conversations with some maintenance directors and regionals from all over the country. And it's for me, and I know it's near and dear to both of your hearts, but it's about that education, right? Is making sure that, you know, it's one of those, if you build it, they will come. So when you start to focus, let's go back to the sports analogy, you know, build a robust maintenance education program at your affiliate level. Here, we have some great stuff here.
Yes.
We have some great educational sessions here at Apartmentalize, but it's like not enough to move the needle. So I think that we need to it's pretty much be the three of us for right now. You know, we're going to do some more. We're going to do some more maintenance relevant educational sessions.
We could do this. Why not?
Yeah. But even at the local affiliate level, I mean, you know, and, you know, I was just talking on stage about the importance that one of the topics that we were talking about was NAA survey that we did last year, our NAA Insight survey, where we were trying to fix the on-call problem. And the answer was very simply, maintenance team members want training and advancement. And how do we do that? Well, we have to educate them because those two are tied together. When they say training, it's not to fix the water heater, right? They actually typically they want to learn skills that are going to help them advance. So educational sessions, the things that we are doing on a regular basis is exactly what's out there. All right, we have some time left.
He didn't get a chance to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have any time left. Thank you all for this episode. All right,
How is someone? Go ahead. Hold on. You just said we need more education programs. How is someone who's trying to better themselves supposed to get better at bettering if they're not given an opportunity to practice the need for bettering? Because how is that supposed to happen? Actually, my answer picks up there. I agree with you. We need to have education, but I think the education piece is a little bit of chicken and egg scenario.
Yeah, sure.
When I worked with the association, that was the conversation a lot. Is what do we do to get more maintenance to attend? Well, we provide more education sessions. Why don't we provide more education sessions? Because we don't have many attending, and we only have limited space. Right. So it is that chicken and egg scenario. Yeah. I think at the state and local level, it begins with somehow getting the message out to our maintenance team members that, first of all, they are wanted.
Yes.
Their opinion matters.
Yes.
They need to be in there. You pointed out in that session that I was great job, by the way.
Thanks.
You can pay me later.
I will.
But you pointed out in there that right now, in the continuing trend for all of the advancement things that are happening in the industry, is that there are more there's a higher demand longer term for maintenance people than there is for our office type people.
Wait. He's going to say it. Go ahead. Paul, quick question.
Yes.
Why are there less operations professionals? This is going to be good. Why are there less operations professionals and, more maintenance right now? I mean, what are two of the real main causes for it?
Of those?
Because
Yeah, there is certain advancements.
What kind of advancements?
To take away the everyday things of compounding data and information that are taking the place of those persons.
Man,
yes,
if only there was another way to say that.
Another way of saying it.
Couple letters.
Fake wisdom that there is that what you're saying?
Or kind of pulling everything together into
an accumulation.
Automation of
right. Center point, if you will.
To bring it back in, there are more maintenance professionals, more physical maintenance bodies in our industry where there is a greater demand for physical bodies, sets of hands that are in there. And our local associations need that involvement.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why more people we don't have that additional push for more education at events like these is, quite honestly, why should there be?
Right.
There's not a large enough groundswell at that local level to where, one, there's not known what is needed,
right,
because people aren't asking.
Sure.
And two, otherwise, the people who want to provide it, it's kind of like throwing a little tennis ball into the Grand Canyon. Maybe it hits something and makes a mark, but most of the time it goes in there with no feedback, no information that comes back for it. So my answer is what can be done? Property managers, regional directors, regional owners, you have gotten benefit out of your local association.
Yes.
I've seen it. I've gotten the opportunity to stand up in front. I know you've gotten the opportunity to stand up in front of them. And Chris, or Mark, in yours, you have as well.
Yeah.
But the vast majority, for every 3, 4, 5, 6 operational type person, you have one maintenance type person. And most of the time, that maintenance type person is on their phone looking at all the work orders that are coming in because they're attending whatever meeting or training or is there. Yeah. So owners, managers, leaders.
Yes.
We need our maintenance people to be represented, a part of, and in the conversation. That's my answer.
Yeah, I like it.
And I will have you know that it wasn't me that made that run long. It was you guys trying to run long.
No, I want to echo the plea. Maintenance personnel, we're really trying to push for them to want to be a part of these conferences, and unless they know that their voice is going to be heard or listened to, it's always going to be that tennis ball in the Grand Canyon. You've got to ask them, hey, property manager, hey, maintenance technician, supervisor, what can I do to help you with your professional growth? And don't just listen for the response. Listen because you want to help. And let's start at the grassroots level. That was a word that Chris, you used when we asked this question of each other several weeks ago. It's going to start with a grassroots effort, but I think that we can make it happen. It's going to take some time, but I think we can make it happen.
So we only have a few minutes left. We kind of questioned ourselves out, but one of the things is I want to let our audience know that Paul and Mark and myself have been working tirelessly while we were here getting questions for future episodes of The Turnover from parties that we were at, from Podcast Palooza, which was fantastic. Thank you to MMN and all of the people that were involved, all the sponsors that were involved in that, because it really was an amazing night. We had a lot of fun. There was some great conversations and debates going on. What was most of the debates about? Do you remember what most of the debates were about? The onstage debates? It was 2 letters.
Mark's hair. I really do. I think that was the large.
I'm going to get him to say it. I just got to figure out how to do it. So we have more great episodes coming. But I wanted to close out. We only have 2 minutes left. So again, short. One quick takeaway that you had from Apartmentalize 2025 here in Las Vegas.
Oh, Mark, I'll finish it.
A dry heat is still hot.
Ooh, actually, that is what you were taking. Look, friends, family, Vegas being a dry heat. Look, today's supposed to be 105 degrees. Well, okay.
The lowest all week, by the way.
Baked or boiled, you're still cooking.
Yeah. So, in true the turnover fashion, these two are being clowns, and I will be serious.
Yeah. Sure.
No, there was something great that the first keynote on Wednesday, Jay Shetty, who's actually a podcaster and motivational speaker, he was fantastic. I wanted to share this with the audience, and but please check it out, and maybe we'll find a link to it. To one of the stories he tells is about, and it really made me think this week. And I want to leave this with you, is that studies were done that the most important person in a hospital, the most dangerous job in the world is actually a cleaner at a hospital. Studies have been done the most dangerous because because of what they are coming into contact, how they're coming into contact, and what regularly. So that wasn't the interesting fact. The interesting fact was they took that subset and did further studies on it and had conversations, and people in that world, okay, in that job that identified as cleaners were less satisfied because they self-identified as cleaners. There was a subset of those cleaners that identified themselves as healers, and they had a very large, higher satisfaction rate because they identified ourselves as healers. And it made me think about maintenance professionals and saying, we are not just handymen. We are not just workers at a site. We are fixers. We are problem solvers. We are educated. We are smart. And I think that the satisfaction of our industry, if we start changing that mindset, I can't believe I accidentally gave his show a plug. If we changed our maintenance mindset and really put together a mixtape of things to better improve, maybe we can go beyond the work.
Yes.
And turn over all the maintenance problems that we have. So, thank you for joining us for this amazing episode of The Turnover. Guys, I can't wait for us to do this in person again, but we'll see you all soon. Thanks all.
Now it's your opportunity to respond and let us know what we missed. If there's any topics of conversation you'd like us to turn over, head over to multifamilymedianetwork.com and leave us a message.